How many TechnoNet events we have had so far? If the number is 15, red, 17, blue, 18, yellow, 20, green. So hit on it. You have 30 seconds. So 17 seconds is left.
I didn't get the question.
How many TechnoNet events we have had so far? You can see from the TV.
I don't know.
4 seconds left.
Mr. Nasiri.
Don't cheat. Okay, done. Okay, so the right answer was the yellow one. Yes, Mr. Nasiri. Only 5 people answered. Okay, let's go to. You want to see show video? No. Let's go next one. Okay, next question. This is the answer. This is the result. Ali Reza got number. How Ali Reza you got a higher number?
Answer
no.
faster, yeah.
Oh, maybe
Just
time
faster, yeah.
Okay. Okay, next question. Who was the founder of Zip2 startup? Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates. Zip2 startup.
Google is your friend.
Elon Musk, blue, Mark Zuckerberg, red, Steve Jobs, yellow, Bill Gates, green.
Any cheating?
No, don't search in internet. Don't use chat GPT. Okay, your time is over. 10 people answered right. So good job. So Elon Musk, yeah? Elon Musk. So Ali Reza is still the first person. Okay. Okay, so please don't close it. We have more questions for later. So now we start the meeting by Mr. Omid Alaei. So Mr. Omid Alaei is Mr. Omid Alaei holds a bachelor degree in electrical engineering, a master of applied positive psychology (MAPP), and a master's degree in socio-economic systems engineering. Omid worked as executive director and consultant in multinational organizations in Europe, Asia, and North America for over 2 decades. He founded and led several startups that pushed the boundaries of what was possible. Several of these ventures experienced successful exits, providing a testament to Omid's business acumen and leadership skills. As a leadership coach, consultant, and freelance researcher, he has conducted several professional, personal, executive development seminars and workshops at academic conferences and organizations. He is now the COD and co-founder of Keytech, a clean tech startup, a vice president of MID Group, the engineering design studio, and leadership coach at Silicon Valley Change. Thanks, Omid. So please have the microphone.
How can I click to the next?
Yes.
So, good morning again, everybody. Today, I don't want to talk about how to get fund for your startup, how to run a business plan, or how to be a good leader. I just want to start from the very, very beginning part of an entrepreneurship journey, which is your personality, who you are, and how you can develop the capacity of being an entrepreneur in this world. Looking at the nature of the jobs and the job market these days, an institute in Palo Alto, California called Institute for the Future, IFTF, about 5 years ago, estimated that in 2030, 80% of the job has not been yet invented. To 2021. So they said that in the next 80% of the jobs for the next decade has not yet been defined. We don't know what it is. Now we can see, for example, we are now in 2024. Maybe 20% of the jobs are very new to our market. Like what? Like
AI.
a ChatGPT expert.
Yeah.
5 years ago, we don't know how can we become a ChatGPT expert. Looking at the history of this job, you can remember these old jobs which are no more exist. Milkman, a telephone operator, or typist. Do you remember these jobs? So that's all of them. And some new jobs as well, which we may say goodbye to them in the near future, like the cashier, like a production lineman, or even pilots. So this is the nature of the new workplace. We don't know what it is. They said that the new jobs are uncertain, freelance, and they need high educated people for that. According to the St. John University study, top 10 skills required for employment in 2024. The first one is data literacy and analytics. Second is AI. Third is digital fluency. And then we'll go to the old school soft skills that we need. If you look at this ranking, previously, even in 20, something is missing here. Even in the previous studies in 2022, creativity, emotional intelligence, and critical thinking were in the top 3 of the required skills. But in 2024, we don't need you to become a critical thinker. AI will do it for you. Even don't need to be too much creative, and it seems that someone else is taking care of it. And the scary part is that even emotional intelligence and empathy is not as required as before. So this is the new skills that we are facing. Also, what are the risks in this new market? According to the World Economic Forum, this report just released in January 10. These are the global risks for the next 2 years. The first one is misinformation and disinformation because of AI again. So there is a risk of misinformation and disinformation because of that. The second risk is extreme weather events that we are now facing right now. So if you are looking for some business which is seasonally related, you should be careful about it. The third one is the societal polarization and the politics somehow. The fourth one is the cyber insecurity again. We have the cyber security person here. That's a high risk for the next 2 years. Then it is intrastate and conflict, and again politics, lack of economy opportunities, inflation, involuntary migration, economic downturn, and pollution. So we are now going to an uncertain, dynamic, fast-changing environment of business. Personally, globally, economically. And then we need to go back again to entrepreneurship. So what's entrepreneurship? The classical definition is the process of designing, launching, and running a new business, which is often initially a small business. And some people only take the first part. They don't think about running. Say, okay, I have an idea, just go launch it, but you need to run it. In order to be sustainable, you need more skills than just being creative, than just being smart, than just being innovative. You need to have those capacities. And I want to talk about those capacities now. According to the regular stats, for the last 2-3 decades in Canada, 50% of new ventures only last for 5 years. 50% of those visionary entrepreneurs who start a job only last for 5 years in Canada. And this is another new stat that I said from this Association of Canadian Association of Insolvency and Restructuring Professionals. They call it CAIRP. They said In 2023, it increased 41%. So this number is also showing us the risk of being an entrepreneur, because there is 75% chance that you lose, according to stats. But how it can be different, how it can be, and that 25% successful part of it that can last for more than 5 years. There is science behind it. It's not just doing something because you need it, because you love it, because you're a visionary. And this is the interdisciplinary science of psychology, management, economy, and many other things. And you need to have a complete understanding of your personal, environmental, and organizational capacities when you're running a business. This is just, I try to explain it in a simple way, how a venture will grow in the long run. And all these are the parameters according to the organizational psychology. You need to have a passion, yes, of course. You need to be passionate about your job to continue it. You need to have searching for new resources skills. You need to have that skill to go and find the fund, to go and find the people. So it's not just having some resources and use it. That skill to go and find new things is very important. You need to have a tenacity, communicate your vision with your team. You should have a clear goals, self-efficacy to have growth. Also, there are some other stuff that may damage the venture growth, which is your age. You have a certain age to grow. The size of the venture that you're going to design, with the regional part of the world, which part of the world you're using that, and your past venture growth, your experience maybe. There are some personal characteristics that we can see obviously from an entrepreneur. You see that, oh, this guy has grit, he has a perseverance, and he has some skills. But there's some parts that you don't see. The vision of the guy usually cannot see, or the self-efficacy, or the mindset that we have, which I believe is the most important part of an entrepreneurship, the mindset of an entrepreneur. Now, what's a mindset? Oh. Now, a question for you. It's not part of the quiz, but it's good to think about it. If we have three main parameters to have entrepreneurial behavior, which is skills, mindset, and supportive parental, peers, attitude, or environment, which one is the most important part of your entrepreneurial behavior?
Mindset.
How much? Double, triple?
70%.
70%.
Maybe 90%.
90%.
I think all of them.
All of them are equally.
All of them equally.
Yeah.
I think also supportive, that every supportive parental period, that's also very important.
Oh.
Because without people, you can't succeed.
Let's look at the result from the study. Study shows that the mindset is 2.5 more important than the skills and more effective. And also 3.5, triple than the supportive parents. That doesn't mean these are not important. It means if you have 1 unit of mindset, this looks like you have 2.5 units of skills. If you have less mindset, you need to work more on your skills and on your parents maybe to make them supportive to you. So what's a mindset? Let's just look at the history of the mindset. The mindset from the psychological perspective, maybe about 2 decades ago, a professor at Stanford called Carol Dweck started talking about the mindset and the psychology of success of those days, they call it. And the mindset is a set of beliefs, ways of thinking that determines the behavior, outlook, and mental attitude. And what is a belief? Belief is a thought you've repeated often and you convince yourself that it is right. So if you think that I'm not a good salesperson, and that is your belief because you repeated it, you know, I don't, to be in a sales is something inside you, you should have it or not, and I cannot do anything else. And you repeat it with yourself. What you do, you don't go and to learn any skills because it's like a talent. You should have it or not. And then you don't become a good salesperson, and then they call it self-fulfilling prophecy, and you say to yourself, yeah, see, I cannot do anything. For example, if you think that you're not good in math, you can never get a good grade, you don't practice hard for your math, and your grade would be F. And see, you say to yourself, see, I cannot be good at that. And to change that, Carol Dweck started with it was a kid psychologist, started with these kids. She gave them a very simple puzzles and asked them to solve it. And when they solve it, she gave them back again. I said, okay, do it again, please. There were two types of kids. The first one said, well, I've done that before. Why shall I do the simple puzzle again and again? Give me something more challenging. And the second type, he said, whoa, it's perfect because I won once, I can do it again and again. And from that perspective, she talked about two different mindsets in whole human, which is called growth mindset and fixed mindset. The growth mindset is where we think that we can do the change. We can change ourselves. We can be influenced. We can become different. We can change even our way of thinking. With the fixed mindset, we said, okay, that's what it is. I cannot do anything about it. You start judging yourself. You start giving up. The fixed mindset thinks that the intelligence is static. So if they face a challenge, they avoid challenges. If there's obstacle, they give up easily. And if there's an effort, they say, oh, effort is useless because, you know, this is how the global rules work. We are victims. We cannot win anything. On the other side, the growth mindset people, they embrace challenges. They say, okay, let's learn something out of it. They persist when they face an obstacle, and they see effort as a path of mastery, not as something useless or waste of energy. Now, why are we talking about this? Because we're going to the next step with the entrepreneurial mindset. How an entrepreneurial mindset works.
It should be growth.
Sorry?
It should be growth mindset for sure.
That was my next question you just answered. Yeah. Entrepreneurial mindset should be part of a growth mindset.
Yeah.
Now, as a first step, there are lots of websites or tests that you can go. And first, before taking any steps, go and check how much growth mindset you are working with in your daily jobs. And if it is too low, it's too much fixed mindset, maybe before doing anything, it's a little bit to shift it to growth mindset. And now my second question, is fixed mindset something bad and growth mindset is good?
Not necessarily.
Always? Why?
It depends on the type of the task. Even the business, I think I'm just speaking loudly, and I think franchise owners are more like fixed mindset rather than growth mindset. So it depends on the type
Comparing
of
which type of business?
Comparing to startups.
Okay, great. Yeah, fixed mindset is not something bad. The first step is that be aware of it, that this is working for me right now, is my fixed mindset, but it may not work for all of my aspects of life. For example, if you are in OPG, you are this, what they call it, safety person, that you could check all the alarms at the same time. If something happened, may become a disaster, you should have a fixed mindset. Because you should be critical about it and say, hey, it's not, hopefully it's a cat, because inshallah go grass. No, it's something serious may happen. So you should be fixed mindset on that and have a fast reaction. But it's not good to bring that fixed mindset at home and be same with your family, with your kids, and with your wife. Then you need a growth mindset at different space of life. Where is this mindset coming from? From our childhood, most of it. When we are a kid and we get a punishment, or we call it negative reinforcement, that may make you more and more in a fixed mindset side. When a parent, God forbid, say to a kid, well, you're not smart enough to do this, you're not smart enough to go to math, let's go to art. That's a fixed mindset that you are making on your kid. Also, sometimes the wrong praise that you say. When you say to a kid that, well, you are fantastic, you are Picasso because of that drawing, that doesn't help. Make that kid, even with your praise, in a fixed mindset. And that kid tries to prove himself that I'm good enough because I'm like that guy. Many of you as scholars may have experienced this, that when you were a kid, you were compared with someone and you try to prove yourself. That's why you get A+ on all your tests. And when you fail, you try to hide it. So we have 3 types of praise. This one is a little bit more than our topics, but as entrepreneurs and managers, I would like to share it with you because it's very important in the workplaces too. We have 3 types of praises. One is praising the person, that you say, hey, Mr. Ali, you are a perfect guy. We give you bonus this month because you are perfect. You are kind, or you are doing, you're handsome, or you have a charismatic character. That's a person. Or you may go praise a product. Mr. Ali, instead of 100 boxes, you made 200 boxes last month, and this is your bonus. And the third one is praising the process. I tell him, hey, Mr. Ali, the way that you make these boxes, the way that you communicate with the customer, the way that you describe and solve the problem was perfect. We learned about it. How could you improve it again and again? And that's praising the process. Now the question is, which type of praises you think will increase the growth mindset, which type more fixed mindset in people?
Process is growth.
Process growth mindset?
I would say person.
Person is growth mindset?
Yeah.
No, that's fixed mindset.
What's a fix?
The third one. Process mindset.
What about product? No one likes product.
Somewhere in the middle.
Praising product.
It's in the middle because maybe it's involved with some kind of the innovation to be a fast producer of that product. It's some kind of thing between the process and the person.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe the guy is fast, or maybe the process is better.
Okay, let's me even a simple example of.
the job.
Sorry?
It's related to the job.
Okay, that's why I'm going to an example. Example is your child drawing a very beautiful picture. The person said, hey, it's easy for you. You're a genius. The product said, that's a beautiful picture. The third one is, how did you do that? Tell me about it. What did you think when you draw it? What different colors did you choose? And so then this is going more to growth mindset, and that side is more to the fixed mindset. And that product is something in the middle, as you said. Thank you. Okay, now going to the entrepreneurial mindset, which is our main topic. It's defined as a growth-oriented perspective through which individuals promote flexibility, creativity, continuous innovation, and renewal. So it is, first of all, it's a part of our growth mindset. And then we need to have some flexibility, which is very important because as a definition of the startups especially, we are just changing even our core product during the years. And the gentleman will give you good examples of those. I was thinking that my final product in this startup would be this, but according to the risks, dynamics of the market, I changed it to that, but still continuing the same core. If you would like to know more about entrepreneurial mindset, there is an index called Entrepreneurial Mindset Index. You can find it at nfte.com. And they're starting even for youth. They start to develop the entrepreneurial mindset for youth. And these are the main domains that we need to develop to become a good entrepreneurial mindset. Comfort with risk, creativity and innovation, critical thinking, initiative and self-reliance, communication, collaboration, future orientation, opportunity recognition, and flexibility and adaptability. Now, going back to my second slide, that the new workplaces skills they're looking for, you can see that they do not need entrepreneurial minds at the workplaces in global. They don't need you to become more creative, innovative, or future-oriented way. Because there's another part, which is AI is trying to fulfill that part for you.
I do it for you.
But there are some...
I do it for you from here.
Oh. Now the next one is the learning skills. How, sorry, I should go back. How we should develop this? Look at this list. Is it something you can go and read about it and become creative or flexible or future-oriented or communicative? Just reading about it?
Yeah, there are skills. You can hone the skills.
These are the mindsets, not skills.
I don't think that you can.
There's a layer under the skills.
Yeah, I don't think you can. Like many of them, they're very, very hard to develop, right? Like they should be part of your mindset. Like, I think, you know, many people are born with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like taking risks. Like many people cannot take risks.
Okay, now going back
No, I think
to
it's
my
experience and we can learn.
going back to fixed mindset, growth mindset. One of the first definition of growth mindset is that I think I can develop it. Even I didn't have enough time to share with you, but even your intelligence could develop a little bit because of the plasticity of your brain.
Mm-hmm.
So everything you can learn about it, maybe not as much as those are naturally born with it, you're right. But you need extra effort to fill up that gap.
I always look at this just like an adventure. You know, when I want to start something as a startup, I'm going to challenge with these steps that you mentioned. Actually, I see as an adventure. I'm going to do something that I never did before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an adventure. If something happened, it doesn't matter. I enjoy, and then maybe I hurt, but actually I get the experience.
Thank you. That's my next slide, talking about the skills, which you need to do it to learn it. You cannot just read it. You cannot just get a coach or consultant. You need hands-on, do it.
Sorry.
And these are the basic skills.
Go ahead.
These are the basic skills. As an example, if you go to that NFT website, there's a lots of other exercises and the skills that you need to do it again and again and again to become expert on that. For example, communicating with people I know or I don't know. That's the first step. Creating business plan. This is the hardest skills that is you can learn from anywhere. Overcoming fear of rejection, as you said. And my cousin, Mr. Alaei, it's not my cousin, but I call my cousin, can send a long list of history of saying no, hearing no. People say, no, get out. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But it's coming from through the window. Selling something to other people. Sales skills is something that you can develop. It's not born with. Recognizing problems and solving them, thinking creatively and coming with new ideas. And this is just a sample of a long list of skills that you need to practice to develop on the other side your mindset. Because the mindset was a belief that you repeated to yourself and think it is true. By using these new skills, you can unlearn what you have learned before. You learn that, oh, I'm not good at hearing no. This guy saying no to me, then I feel bad for a week. Okay, now go again and hear no again. Now going to startups, which is a very specific part of the entrepreneurship. So as a startup owner, you need to have that growth mindset, entrepreneurial mindset, plus lots more. Startup, as a definition, is a company in the first stage of operation. We know that the startups are high cost, limited revenue, so they're looking for capital. They have high risks, which I just gave you some sample of those risks, and they're focused on innovations. And you see that you need more skills than just a simple entrepreneur, which you have a regular business plan. For example, you're going to go start a bakery, you know all the odds and ends from the bakery. You know where to get the machines, where to sell it. I mean, with research, you can get those things. And it's a clear path, but not for the startups. You need to go and fight for the money because you don't have any money and it's high cost. You may go to the angel investors, the venture capitals, or do the crowdfundings. This gentleman will talk to you about his beautiful experience in the past 2 years. And then you become a unicorn. A unicorn, a company that it is more than $1 billion, hopefully. Or for more than $1 billion in now, or a datacorn for more than $10 billion, or $100 billion. What is your goal in your company now?
Unicorn, yeah.
You're going to become a unicorn for $1 billion value. What's your timeline for that?
Less than 5 years.
Less than 5 years. So less than 5 years, this gentleman will become like something like Eventbrite or a Spotify or DocuSign. A datacorn like a Dropbox or Airbnb or Uber, and we have very, very few hectacorn, more than $100 billion, which are the Google, Microsoft, Facebook, and Apple. I end up my speech with the Reid Hoffman famous quote that he said, starting a company is like jumping off a cliff and assembling a plane to the way down. You have no plane. You have no idea what you face down the cliff. But you should make that plane. And these are some references if you would like to learn more and study yourself more about this beautiful topic. Thank you.
Any questions? So wait a minute.
Sorry, I have first question here.
Yeah, you don't see.
Oh, yeah, wait.
No, give me the mic.
Okay, sure. Okay, thank you so much. It was very interesting and very full of the information and everything else. Actually, my question is a general question. Do you think, we can outline a person as a growth or fixed? Because we are full of, different conditions, which under that condition we could be fixed. For example, like a religion or something like that, maybe. But basically, maybe you have also a growth attitude or something like that. So, do you think we can label a person as a growth or the fixed at the end, or it is a kind of between or something like that? So, anyway, in my opinion, we cannot say this person is growth or it's fixed. Is it correct?
Well, it's not my opinion. I'm just referring to the science of the psychology, and all the Carol Dweck's more than 2 decades of research shows that people have different types of mindset in different domain of life. For example, you might be, as you said, a fixed mindset in your spiritual path, but you have a very growth mindset in your learning skills.
Yeah.
So it's very different, but the way that you act most of the time will put you in spectra. It's not a number. If you go to that website we just share with you, you can do the test and you can see which domains you are more on a fixed, which domains you are more on a growth mindset. And as I said, it's not a good or bad. You need to have some fixed mindset in some specific job. Yeah, you need to be fixed mindset if you are a judge. Right? When you are judging, you're a fixed mindset. The police officer, you should have a fixed mindset. But you should not take that if you want to grow your business. You can have a fixed mindset on that franchise that you said. So that's what it is. I'm going to sell this. I'm not going just 1 millimeter far from that, and everyone should sell this. But if I'm an entrepreneur, if I'm running in a startup, that doesn't work for me, even for short run.
Even in that sample, just you said, for example, for the franchise, still, you can have some kind of creative things, even under that fixed thinking,
Yeah, if the boundaries let you do it.
That's right. So it is very important. So, anyway, I think it is relatively, labeled, not fixed label.
I highly recommend to read that mindset book.
Mindset. Okay.
And also another book, it's very interesting. It's called Change Your Questions, Change Your Life.
Okay.
And that is about how we usually fall in the pitfall of the judgmental mindset and how we can get rid of it with learning. Because most of the times there is no learning in the fixed mindset. Fixed mindset says, that's what it is. I don't want to learn about it. Okay, if I'm a safety operator in a nuclear power plant, I really don't want to learn about it. But if I'm a scholar and I said, that's my Bible, I don't want to learn more about it, that's a bit.
Oh, thank you so
So
much.
may I have a comment? May I have a comment? I believe that it's very important and related to the environment, specifically in industry. So it depends to the environment that you are working, and depends on manager. Sometimes they are open-minded and let us to to provide the idea to actually change some ways. So it helps us to develop this skill, and it can get us actually give us the self-confidence to to discuss about our idea, to have a growth mindset. Sometimes they are very actually tight, and we don't have this opportunity. So after sometimes the people stop to provide idea, and the people switch on fixed mindset. So in my opinion, it's very important. And as a worker, I believe if we are in such an environment with this type of manager, the best way is switch the job, because it's just wasting the time, in my belief. Because after sometimes the mindset is fixed in the personality, and we may miss many more opportunity in somewhere else. So the best way is just change the position.
Yeah. For that type of personality, yes, but we have also other type of personality that they love to stay in the fixed comfort zone mindset.
Yes.
It's not for everybody, but
Yes,
for you, yeah. You are not someone that's
yes, for
intolerant.
people who want to take a risk, of course, growth mindset is better.
Yeah.
Do you mind going to the previous slide, 4 slides before, about crowdfunding, angel investors, and venture capital?
Yeah.
So the question is, why did you eliminate bootstrapping?
Because of this face.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Well, that was not my main topic. That's a part of the 3 to 4 hours workshop, and I just selected some part of it just to scratch the surface.
Because I think bootstrapping is more related to a growth mindset, right? Because people who have growth mindset are leaning toward bootstrapping rather than crowdfunding or venture capital angels.
Yep. Thank you.
Just have a question. Thank you very much, and congratulations for your achievements. Quite impressive, all of you. So, what are your thoughts on, we call it analysis paralysis, which is, I found in my employees and staff, is the most challenging part, because a lot of people, and knowledge is good, but sometimes knowing too much, indeed, it can be impediment for your risk taking, because you have to take a risk to be able to get, and it's always the case. So, any thoughts about that? And also, want to add one more thing. I think, based on probably working for 33 years, emotional resilience is quite important. And entrepreneurs that are risk takers, as we talked quite oftenly in your presentation, part of that is, I found them that they have a thick skin. They do not basically become hopeless. They may get upset, but at the same time they keep going. So, and that is something that I have seen people who there are many of them, they're in sports or other activities that gradually, which is as we talk, some people they're born to be like that, but I do believe that, as you mentioned, they can grow in and out of that, add more to it by doing certain other activities, be more risk takers and have a thicker skin. So, but getting back to my first question, how about your thoughts on the analysis paralysis, and what's the right amount of data for someone to make that decision to move forward, and how you find yourself in that space? Thank you.
Thank you. You're talking about in the workplace, at the group thinking, or just individual?
Individual, group, and group as well. So.
All. Because in the group thinking, we have some boundaries. We said, okay, this is the way that we're going to go. We have a specific goal, and we have some timeline, we have budget, and then the cost for taking analysis forever. But for us, this is we're not talking about the uncalculated risk taking. So when we're talking about risk taking, we don't want to become an entrepreneur, have an entrepreneurial mindset that take any kind of risk at any cost. So there is a balance between this is the risk I'm taking or not. And then analysis for that is sometimes you need a consultant, a coach, or a mentor to stop you and that kind of obsessive analysis, of course. And that should be someone with the knowledge of that field specifically. For example, if I'm an expert in the medical workplaces, I cannot say, okay, now stop talking about the safety of your power plant. This is now time to stop. No, we need someone expert at that, someone to co-create with you that path of analysis, not just stopping you or encouraging you to do it. And most of the time it's about the personality. Some people with obsessive personality may do it again and again and again, and that needs to be, you need to have some coach to stop them. So most of the time these people are maybe some sort of perfectionists that trying to make the best decision at the end of the day, which there is no perfect decision. You need to take the risk and accept the cost at any level. And sometimes you need to go more deeper on your personality and values and see, oh, I am doing this obsessive analysis in all domains of my life. It's not just my job. I'm doing even with my family. I'm doing even with my health. So that is something that is a red flag. And what's the second question? Was about the
just the talk about the emotional resiliency.
Yeah, that's exactly a very important part of it. As it's a part of EMI. I think it's in this cluster of flexibility and adaptability is part of the resiliency, and yeah, that's the main part of becoming an entrepreneur. You need to be resilient and do not sacrifice your mental and social health and life. If you wish, you can do it, but it's not healthy. From my perspective, your well-being and flourishing is not something that you can sacrifice your other parts of life for that. Yeah, you can become a billionaire, but you will die alone.
Thank you very much.
Can I ask the last question because we have short time? Sorry, I just asked the last question. If you have more questions, so after this we have networking. So thanks, Omid, for the presentation. I wonder if you have had any experience in crowdfunding or anybody else, and how much people contribute in crowdfunding?
I had, but I think the story of Alex is much more fresh than mine.
Okay, very good. Thanks, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So please applaud Omid. Okay. So we have. Okay. So we have the next part of the game now. So, according to Omid's speech, because I don't want you forget it. So ready for the next part of the game? Yes. You hopefully didn't close the app, no? Ready? Yeah. Okay, go to the next question in the game. Which of the following skills is not in the top 5 required for employment in 2024? AI and machine learning, emotional intelligence and empathy, critical thinking, creativity and innovation.
Critical thinking.
You have to hit on it. So you have to beat Ali Reza. Someone wants to beat Ali Reza. Ali Reza was the first person so far. Okay, so 7% right answer, critical thinking. So Ali Reza is still the first one. Okay. Ready for the next question? Which of the following has the most correlation with venture growth? Goals, passion, past venture growth, self-efficacy. Yes, 6% are right. Ali Reza, I gave the right answer to you the last night.
maybe you gave the wrong answer.
Okay, next one. Which of the following startups is not in the category of Delocorp? Shopify, Dropbox, Airbnb, Uber. Okay, 6 answers are right. Shopify and Reza. Oh, yeah, Reza. Okay, so we have 4 more questions later after Barzad's talk.